We're on our way to Kathmandu, Nepal, but thanks to a delay in our first flight, we got rerouted through a long string of inconvenient layovers halfway around the world. So we're making it interesting, reading meals, checking out airport lounges, and seeing how little we can spend while tracking down the best and worst grub on this impromptu adventure. Hey guys, we're sitting here in Albuquerque Airport ready to start a trip. However, our first flight out of Albuquerque got delayed, so it would cause us to miss our connection. So we got rerouted. We're gonna now go from Albuquerque to Chicago to Frankfurt, and Frankfurt to Dubai, then Dubai to Kathmandu. Bummed out we can't have a long layover in Dubai. However, we're gonna just have fun with it. After a 90-minute flight with no meals, we made it to our first stop in the great city of Chicago. We headed through O'Hare's iconic underpass and past a Bronchiosaurus to reach the United Club just outside our gate at B18. You can access this club by being a Star Alliance Gold member on an international itinerary, having a United Club credit card which comes with a whopping $695 annual fee, or by purchasing a one-time pass for $59. It was pretty busy as usual, with all the international flights departing just outside, but it has free food, and we're hungry. There's no deep dish or Chicago dogs here, so we loaded up with some pasta, soup, salad, and sweets. Oh, and of course, some beers. We had a Modelo and an Orange-less Blue Moon, because they were part of the non-paid beer options. Overall, everything was decent, but nothing was too exciting, with the poblano white cheddar soup being our favorite, due to its rich, creamy, and cheesy heartiness. This meal was a mid 5.5 out of 10, but could have been even better if the local craft beers were included without an upcharge. It was soon time to board our flight to Frankfurt. We made the slow, depressing walk past United's Polaris business class, and even past Premium Plus, which we would have sat in on our original ticket, and finally arrived at good old regular economy class. This will be our home for the next 8 hours. We pushed off right on time and were treated to this beautiful takeoff past a Chicago sunset. Just look at that 787's carbon fiber wings and rigged wing tips. I can't be the only one that thinks these are elegant marvels of engineering. For dinner, I chose the Greek lemon chicken with rice and veggies. It came with a bread roll, a cookie, and an incredibly bland couscous salad. The main was okay, everything was cooked right, but I wanted more flavor from the lemon pepper sauce. The chef might have missed the flight to Flavor Town on this one. Jess chose the vegetarian lasagna, which came with the same sides. We both thought this was the better choice, as the sauce actually had some umami robustness to it. Overall, this meal rates as a 4 out of 10 because most of it was uninspired and underseasoned. You can do better, United. With full bellies, we settled in for some rest on our longest leg. With all other flights being under 6.5 hours, this was our best chance of getting a solid stretch of sleep. But after just 4 to 5 hours of drifting in and out, we were already on our final approach to Frankfurt. Frankfurt Airport is one of my least favorites to transfer through because, just as I expected, it involved a bus gate with a long transfer time and a sterile, corporate prison-themed terminal. The saving grace is the Lufthansa Senator Lounge, which you can also access with Star Alliance Gold status. Strangely, my research showed this lounge is actually more premium than Lufthansa's business class lounge right next door. So hey, small win for us because this might be my favorite lounge that Star Alliance Gold gets you into. There's plenty of seating with floor-to-ceiling views of the apron, something I didn't see anywhere else in the airport. They've even got showers and a dark, secluded nap room if you need to recharge. The food options were easily double what was offered at Chicago's United Club, with a good selection of sweets and salads, snacks, and hearty mains. But the absolute best thing was the self-serve beer with proper glassware provided in classic German style. Beck's is Beck's, just your average, run-of-the-mill, light-tasting Pilsner that isn't even German anymore after Anheuser-Busch bought it in 2002. But this Weiss beer, so good. It has all the traits you expect from a great Hefe, including hints of banana and clove with a full-bodied mouthfeel. Even the Becks hit hard because of the novelty of drinking a once German beer in Germany. So yeah, I had another one. For food, we grabbed this refreshingly light chicken noodle soup, some curried potatoes and a pretzel, and whatever vegetable healthy thing Jess picked out. But the standout was this warm, cheese-covered salty pretzel with mustard, a perfect pairing with the beer. All in all, this was a good meal experience, and we're giving it a 7.5 out of 10. Our next leg was on Lufthansa's A330 for the 6.5-hour flight to Dubai. The cabin felt a bit dated compared to the 787 we were just on, with smaller, less responsive screens and armrest audio controls. It was nice to have a 242 configuration though, so Jess and I could guarantee an entire row to ourselves. After settling in, we headed down the runway, took off, and left our second continent of this trip behind. Somewhere over Greece, we were served our dinner, where I somehow didn't learn my lesson and ordered the chicken dish again. This was simply baked and served with steamed veggies and a creamy, buttery side of mashed potatoes. We also got a bread roll, a strawberry cake, and a chickpea salad. The chicken was slightly seasoned and a bit dry, nothing special, but combining a bite with the mashed potatoes really helped to provide extra flavor and moisture. I liked alternating bites between the main and the chickpea salad because it provided a contrasting yet refreshing texture and tanginess. Jess's main was the spinach paneer with rice and a side of Beck's. Although it wasn't as flavorful as similar dishes we've had elsewhere, Jess definitely picked the tastier meal yet again. Maybe the lesson here is to choose the vegetarian option when in doubt. We wrapped up with the cake for dessert, which was not overly sweet and actually moist. Overall, this wasn't an exceptional meal, but nothing was underwhelming. Very average all around for a 6 out of 10. I was exhausted by the time we landed in Dubai, and I don't have much footage, so I'll explain as much as I can now. We had a 3-hour layover, but had to take a bus to another terminal, which only left us with enough time for a quick drink and snack. We wanted something different from the cuisine we've been having and found a sports pub serving Brewdog craft beers. The Punk IPA and Blackheart Stout were refreshingly different than the lighter beers we've had so far. We also got chicken bites to have something crispy for once. This meal was delicious, but we had to pay a ridiculous $53 US for it, so we're knocking the score down to a 5 out of 10. Staying on theme with being completely drained, we passed out for the entire flight from Dubai to Kathmandu. I honestly don't even know if a meal was served since it was a 2 a.m. departure. Luckily, I stayed awake on the return flight, so here's what you can expect if you're flying this route. This leg of the trip was operated by Fly Dubai's shiny new 737 MAX. The seats were about average in terms of comfort, but the adjustable headrest probably played a big part in why I passed out so hard on the way in. I also really liked the clean, modern design. In front of you, there's something I didn't expect to see on a modern plane. More on that later. A 2-way folding tray table, a skinny little pocket for I don't know what, and finally a literature pocket below. Legroom was better than expected. Nothing luxurious, but definitely solid for a budget airline. The screens are large, sharp, and bright. Great display quality. Too bad you can't watch anything on them without paying though. Remember that odd feature from before? Yeah, that's a credit card reader because you need to purchase either a basic or premium package for $6 or $11 respectively to unlock specific bundles of movies, shows, or games. Thankfully, the feature I cared most about was the only thing provided for free, the moving map. It's very well designed, and I like how you can select from a variety of views and overlays. One thing that caught my eye was how we spiraled out of Kathmandu before heading towards Dubai. Probably necessary given the city's location in a valley surrounded by mountains. I assume we had to do the same spiral on our descent in, which I just found really interesting. Lunch was served about an hour into our flight. Since I live on the edge, I went for the chicken the third straight time and my gamble finally paid off. This was perfectly cooked in a rich yellow curry that was loaded with flavor, and was actually delicious. This was served with whipped butter and bread, some crunchy spiced chickpeas, and this delicious sweet milk pudding, which was such a refreshingly unique dessert to me. Jess went with the paneer and peas and masala sauce, which was equally delicious. The only thing I didn't like was the tiny amount of cupped, bottled water to try to wash down these rich dishes with. Regardless, this was easily the best airplane meal we've had on our journey. First time I disqualified 7 out of 10. I'd much rather have gotten the sleep than the meal on the way in, but hey, if they offer this meal on the 2 AM flight and you're hungry, you can look forward to it. Now back to the flight to Kathmandu. After sleeping through the entire flight, this is the only footage I managed to get from my middle seat. We were exhausted by this point, but it marked the end of a long, food-filled, and surprisingly fun journey. If you enjoyed this video and are curious about what we actually got up to in Nepal, be sure to subscribe. The real adventure starts now.